Okay then, so now we want to start tackling authentication. The first thing we'd like to do is create some kind of sign up page, which will be a form where a user enters in their email address, a password, and an alias, some kind of username or a name to go by, which will display on their profile page. So first of all, I want to create a new folder inside components, and I'm going to call this auth. So this will contain all of our components for any kind of authentication, so things like sign up or login. So let's create that new sign up component, new file, and call this signup.vue. And we need a template right here. And we'll come to the template in a minute. First of all, let's do our script tag right here. And inside, we'll do our data property, which will return an empty object. We also want to add in the name of our component, which will be signup, like so. And then finally, let's do our style tags at the bottom, just in case we need any styles later on. Now we'll come back to the template in a minute. First of all, what I'd like to do is just register this in our routes file. So I'll come to that down here and we'll add in a new route. And this will be for a path, which will look like /signup. And we first of all need to import this component at the top. Import signup from, and it's at /components /auth /signup, like so. Okay, so the name of this route will be signup, and it will use the signup component, like so. Okay, so we have this route registered now. So if we go to /signup, then we shouldn't see anything at the minute because there's nothing in the template. But once we start to add content in here, we will see that. So inside the template, what do we want to do? Well, we basically want to create a form with 3 input fields and a button. Okay, so let's create a div first of all and give this a class of signup and also a class of container. All right, and inside this, we'd like to do our form now. Now this will have a class of card-panel. Again, this is materialize just to create a nice looking form for us. And we don't need an action on this form just yet. So we'll get rid of that. We'll attach an event to this later. For now, inside, let's do an h2. And I'm going to give this a class of center and also deep-purple for the text color. And it's -text when we want to color text. Okay, so the text will be sign up. Now underneath the h2, we'd like to actually do the different form fields. Now each form field is going to be within a class of field, and that's just so I can style these a little bit later on. So I'll do a class of field on this div, and inside here we'll do a label first of all, and this is going to be for the email, and the text will say email as well. And underneath that we need an input field of type email, or typed text will do if you want to keep it as text as well. I'll change it to email. The name of this will be email, like so, and we'll attach a V model to this later on as well. Now I'm just going to copy this right here because the next one is going to be pretty similar. This is going to be for the password, so we'll change this to password, and we'll change this to password, and finally the type as well, or rather the type and the name over here, so password and password. Okay, and then we also need one for the alias, so we'll paste this again down here. We'll change this to alias, this to alias, this one, and this one. Okay, so we have our 3 input fields that we need now. We also want to do a button at the bottom. Again, that is going to go inside the div with a class of field. And inside here, I'm going to give this a class of center as well, just to centralize the button. Inside here, we'll do a button with a class of btn, and it's going to be deep-purple to give it a deep purple background. And we've forgotten that little dot right there. So inside here, we want the text sign up, like so. Okay, so let's save that. Let's just quickly view this in a browser. All right, it's looking okay, not great. So let's have a look what's gone wrong with this alias right here. Okay, we've changed the type to alias. Obviously, a type of alias doesn't exist. I'm getting carried away with myself. It's type text. We'll save that. And now this looks a bit better. I still want to add a couple of my own styles as well, just to make this look slightly neater. So we'll come down to the style tag over here, and first of all I'll grab the sign up div which surrounds everything, and I'll set this to a max-width of around 400 pixels. We'll also give it a margin top of 60 pixels as well, just to bring it down from the navigation. Okay, so the H2 inside that as well, we'll change the font size of that, so sign up H2, and this will have a font size of around 2.4 ems. That will do. And then finally I want to style each field, so each of these divs right here. So we'll say sign up dot field, and then I just want to give them a margin bottom just to separate them out from each other. So we'll say margin bottom is going to be around 16 pixels. All right then, so if we save that and view it in a browser, that is looking a bit nicer. Cool. So the next thing we want to do is link up these things right here, these input fields, with some data on our component. And to do that, we know we have to use vModel. But before we attach a vModel directive to these, let's create that data down here in this object. So we'll say email to begin with will be null, but we'll obviously update as a user starts to type into the input field. Same for the password, will start as null. And same for the alias, it will be null to begin with. Okay, so now we'll attach those vModel directives to these things, v-model, and that's going to be equal to the email property we just created. This will be for the password, v-model, set that equal to password. And then finally, this one down here, the alias, v-model, set that equal to alias. Okay, so now we have these vModels associated with each other. The next thing I'd like to do is associate this form with a function, so that when we press enter or hit submit or sign up rather down here, then it fires a sign up function. So to do that, we can attach a submit event to this form. We can say at submit. Now we want to prevent the default action of refreshing the page, so we'll say dot prevent to do that, and we'll set it equal to a function. And this function is called sign up. Okay, so we need to create now this sign up function down here. So if we scroll down, we can come underneath the data to do our methods property right here. And inside here, we need a sign up method. And inside this sign up method is where we will interact with Firebase Auth to sign up new users.